I am Taylor Lyons, and I have here with me Kevin Lyons. Kevin, this consent and recording form that we have that you signed right before we started taping just goes over like, hey, it's okay that I'm participating in this video. I know it's going to be used for educational purposes for one of my classes. Any questions you have about that right now?
Nope.
Hi, Jose. How's your day been?
It's been a pretty long day, pretty stressful at work, and then I have to come home and deal with all this and try to make sense of things.
So it's been a little bit stressful then.
Just a tad, yes.
Okay. Wow. So were you able, how was practicing what we discussed last week? We talked about,
The counting thing?
yeah, the counting thing. So for the counting thing, we were trying to record how you felt before and after any time you were stressful.
Well, I think part of my challenge right now is trying to remember the counting thing. So when I do, I think it goes pretty well. Kind of helps me refocus and keep my things under control.
So it helps you refocus and keep things under control. That's really good.
Thank you.
So would you say 0 being you need some more practice with it, or 10 being you're totally a master superstar at counting? Where would you say you're at?
Well, superstar when I remember to count, but I need to work on trying to identify when I should be counting.
Trying to identify when you should be counting. What makes you feel stressed or need to count?
There's all kinds of circumstances. For here, it's just kind of working through some of the situations with Rico, finding out that he didn't show up at school today, for example, is a little bit stressful and puts me in a situation where I should be counting.
I see. So Rico not going to school is really, really stressful.
Yes, because in order for him to graduate, he kind of needs to show up.
So Rico not going to school is one of the reasons you've been stressed lately.
That's correct.
Right. Tell me more about what you're thinking when Rico's not going to school.
Well, considering that I didn't graduate from high school myself, I'm kind of looking to him to be our first generation high school grad.
You sound really excited about that.
Well, because he's an excellent student, he's a smart kid, but he needs to kind of show up to let everyone else know.
Yeah.
Not being there is not going to happen. And then that thing about his homework not getting turned in and stuff, I mean, that's not him.
There's lots going on to make him not really show up, and you're saying he's not like him right now.
Well, he's made it this far. He just has 2 more years, and he'll be graduating from high school. So, I did talk to Father Sanchez about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Still a few things I need to process on my own here.
So right now, talking to Father Sanchez did help you some.
A little bit.
I know before you were having some issues figuring out who to reach out to.
Well, I think, being a religious guy, Father Sanchez helped me out a bit there and made me realize that, there could be something that could be done here. We got you talking to us, helping us out.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you for that, young lady.
When talking to Father Sanchez, was it kind of like the counting to 10 for you?
No, because the counting to 10 thing is just on that refocus to keep me from sort of escalating a situation that doesn't need escalated. Father Sanchez, being a religious man and all, in a different space when I'm talking to him, so it's not like counting to 10.
Mm-hmm.
It did have a common effect, like the counting to 10 does,
Mm-hmm.
just a whole different avenue.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with me. When you're counting to 10, I know you're having some issues finding the stressful situations. Um, when you do realize you're stressed, what do you think you're at? Like 0 to 10 on like your stress level?
Well, I think I kind of jumped straight up to the 8 and working
Pretty
my
high
way
then.
quickly to the 10. And it's at that time where if I don't step back for the counting, I'm gone and it's a little too late for me.
So counting helps bring you down some from a 10?
In terms of the stress, that's correct.
Okay. What number do you think you'd be at when you do remember to count?
Well, that goes back to the master of counting and
Okay.
composure. And so when it's there and I practice it, all is good.
Okay. So in terms of numbers, is it maybe like an 8 or a 7? Because 10 is like you're fully there, you're like red face,
Immersed in the
summoning.
situation and not thinking about much else, counting being the least of it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Some improvement. Keep on practicing that throughout the next few weeks, and we'll see how you feel before and after those situations.
thank you.
Now, talking back to how you're feeling with Rico and all of that stress, you mentioned some of it being because he's graduating and you haven't graduated?
No, I want him to graduate, and the situation that he's kind of putting himself into and cutting classes and pretty much holding up in his room. You can't graduate if you're not in school. So that is the piece I find stressful, and it doesn't help any that Rosa just babies the kid,
Yeah.
allows that to happen. So I'm not quite sure what to do about it. I need to count.
I'm glad you identified you need to count right now. What were some of the reasons you didn't finish school?
Well, needed a job, had to get some money, got my girlfriend pregnant.
Yes, you have Rosa and Rico now. A lot of life came up, and so you weren't able to finish.
Pretty much.
What worries do you have with Rico not finishing school?
I don't want him to repeat any pattern that I have. I mean, as I said, he's a smart kid. He just needs to be there to let everyone else know how smart he is.
It sounds like you're worried that he'll repeat some of the same patterns you had growing up.
Maybe, but right now, flip, man. He hardly has any friends, much less a girlfriend. That's a whole different issue.
Right. There's a lot of, I feel like we're really hitting something here with your concern about him not graduating and you personally not graduating as well. How about we take that, think about it some, keep practicing your counting to 10, and we'll come back next week and talk more about it. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.